I've done some work in the men's rights movement as man-woman myth. That was the identity I used. I made video materials addressing principally misandry. Now, misandry is the hatred of men. It's an equivalent word to misogyny, which applies to women. And I looked at various aspects of the way men are treated in society and where misandry arose in that treatment. What I'm thinking about now is self-defense for men in today's society. And the principal issue regards a man being alone with a woman that he doesn't know in an enclosed space, for example, in a lift or in a room when it's just the man and the woman he doesn't know. The man could quite easily be subject to any kind of false accusation of doing something wrong with the woman, something untoward. And the man would have no way of defending himself from such an accusation, even when he's completely innocent. It's very difficult for a man to defend himself in that situation. So it is basically not advisable for a man to be alone with a woman he doesn't know in an enclosed space where there are no cameras, where there's no way that he could defend himself from an accusation that wasn't warranted. I think the situation is growing worse for men in society today. It is difficult for a man to defend himself from baseless accusations from women in so many circumstances. So myself, for example, if I go to enter a lift and I see there's only one woman in the lift, then I'll hold back and I won't enter the lift. I'm not going to ride in the lift alone with the woman I don't know. I don't think that's wise to do, and so I don't do it. And I'm thinking it's a tragedy, absolute tragedy, that I should need to do that for my own protection. I think it's an awful situation, and I don't want to be living this way, but I'm just not sure if I have a choice. Well, I do have a choice. I could take what is essentially a risk in being alone with a woman I don't know in an enclosed space. It's basically dangerous for me. There's absolutely nothing I could do if the if the woman wanted to complain or say that I behaved towards her badly. And it's horrible to feel vulnerable like this. But I'm not sure it can be avoided. It is the way it is. And in self-defense, I would seek to remove myself from that situation. I suggest to men to think long and hard about if you want to be alone with a woman in enclosed space. Because it could be very bad for you, and very little you do to defend yourself in that situation from any kind of accusation. Misandry is very prevalent in society and very difficult to combat. So men need to be aware of this. Men need to think long and hard about whether they want to allow themselves to be alone with a woman they don't know in an enclosed space, a stairwell, a lift, a corridor, whatever. It is an awful situation, but it is the way it is.